Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto live stream. And guys, today has already been a really interesting day, specifically for these crypto prices. So today, I want to spend some attention looking at various different crypto, their prices, and what I think is about to happen. But generally speaking, I have a ton of stuff open here at the top, which you can't yet fully see, but you'll most likely enjoy, guys. I really did my best on this live stream. The only problem is, I actually wanted to do it about 2 hours ago, but then I got hungry. I had some food, I got kind of sidetracked, but the content is still very relevant, and I think you guys will enjoy. So if you're normally liking my stuff, make sure you press that like button. So first of all, guys, Bitcoin, you can most likely see already that there's quite a lot of volatility on the horizon. So we've basically broken this little trend line just now. You might argue whether or not it's been broken with confirmation, yet we're right now building on top of that trend line. The upwards trend line, which started yesterday basically, has not been respected in the last hour or so, which again, I couldn't have depicted clearly had I started about an hour ago, because it'll basically depend on how we're going to close this next hour, which is going to close in about 20 minutes or so. That will basically show whether or not we respect the newest trend line which is formed, but most likely, guys, the bigger one that we are building on, as long as we stay above about 45.3 thousand on the Bitcoin price, is still good. And of course, why I'm showing you guys Bitcoin is because Bitcoin is always key for every other thing. And by the way, someone asking what was it? What did I have for lunch? What was I eating? I actually made hamburgers myself, but it's 9:40 p.m., so it's not lunch, my friend. Now, on the XRP pair, because this is all like 1 hours, because I decided to kind of do 1 hours first and then a couple other things. On the XRP front, you can actually see we built a nice little base, all right? There were multiple levels that were important for XRP on a little bit of a short-term time frame, of which the most important one was right at around $1 from the broader perspective. $1 you can see right here being depicted. But a little bit more shorter term, you can see $1.02, for example, and about $1.05, $1.06 were important. We've basically built from the lowest point just about today. And from this point, basically, we started a new cycle. Here again, we made some lower highs, basically, until around this point. Now, again, you can see we're kind of closing in, but generally speaking, going upwards. Right now, we're breaking out towards the downside. Not too nice, but not too bad, basically. We're kind of building something, which again is mostly based upon Bitcoin. The most important part is that we basically respect this $1 level. You can clearly see we had a little bit of an outlier towards the bottom side here, the 7th of September, because the entire Bitcoin scenario, the El Salvador stuff, the open interest stuff. However, as long as we're basically cleared above that area, David Schwartz has also explained, guys, that $1 is the most important for XRP. And right now, since we respect that area, I personally don't think there's really much more downside to come that is going to be below $1 per XRP. I literally think we're going to start building from here on forward because that's the most logical. Again, a lot of people pointed out that, oh, XRP going down a little bit. Oh, we did go down a little bit. However, as you'll most likely see in just a second, there are a lot of things that happened just now which were so coincidental, kind of strange, basically. On the 804 front, you can also see here, we've been building a very good base with kind of a triple bottom here, being built at around $2.27 before now bouncing up. And again, the only problem is I should have actually started my stream a little bit earlier. Right now, we're seeing a little bit of a really short-term bullish pennant, but generally speaking, we just touched the most important area for ADA at about $2.80 to about $2.95, which was basically a really important area for the longest of times. You can see clearly we've been touching that area quite a lot of times. And so right now, hit it, came back down, and I personally think as long as Bitcoin stays above and respects the trend line, that ADA will also retest and breach through because, well, we have a really big event tomorrow, right? So the chances are higher that ADA is going to end it all bullish, and then tomorrow is going to kind of fall back down, purely for what we've seen today. Had we seen a big drop today, I would have told you guys, be careful with ADA for the near future. But since we are basically seeing something quite nice right now the day before, and since Charles Hoskins, for example, has been really bullish on ADA everywhere, for right now even, I'm personally thinking the chance of falling down this low, which again is below $2.27 or something in the short term, medium term even, is also once more quite small. Usually, I would always tell you, if there's an event like a hard fork or an upgrade that people know about that is about to happen, be careful, most likely sell it all off, and just don't take the risk. With ADA right now, I'm telling you guys, very often the day before it starts to go down. But since this crypto pumped up the days before, literally here, the 11th here, right today, it's gone up and pumped, the bets are off a little bit. Now, again, guys, on a daily perspective, you can see $1 is more important. There's actually a couple other things that are interesting. On the XRP forefront, the bigger trend line is actually still being respected too. People don't really notice it because, you look at $1, you look basically at what is important at that area. But generally speaking, right now, we're actually building on the trend line. So that's kind of the same thing that Bitcoin is doing on a broader scheme. You can clearly see it, I think. Bitcoin, in that same regard, we also got to cover because that, again, is the deciding factor of everything. It had built higher highs and higher lows for the longest time, right? Until that big September 7th huge drop because of open interest or whatever, something like that was. Building a nice bottom here, actually continuing with a lower bottom a couple of days afterwards. And right now, guys, there's a good chance, a good chance that from this point of forward, basically September 10th here, that this is the lowest area which we're going to see in a very good while. But that is going to depend. That is really going to depend on quite a lot of factors. What are those factors? That's the problem. We don't know. It's already really spectacular that Bitcoin dropped this much in one day. A lot of these analysts, a lot of these really big billionaires basically were saying, oh, it's one out of three things. One, it's basically the entire MicroStrategy strategy. That's ironical, but the strategy to make everybody buy $30 worth. Okay, it's actually a break. Oh, people. Okay. I'll just ban people who say stupid stuff. I don't really care anymore. Okay, there we go. All right. So on the Bitcoin front, I basically think I'm getting distracted, man. Why do people sometimes say stupid stuff? Okay. It's hard to not get distracted, by the way. Some people say, oh, just don't mind it. It's very difficult. It's very annoying. All right. So what I want to say about Bitcoin is it's going to be a critical factor. We don't know. Some are saying it's the MicroStrategy strategy, which was basically that he came in, said everybody should buy $30 worth of Bitcoin. And since a lot of people did, yet there was a lot of opposition for it too. And, the whole El Salvador situation. Some people are just saying straight at the bat, El Salvador, they're really bearish on Bitcoin, the people themselves. It's just the media that made it sound like a really good thing because, well, it's the first country to adapt Bitcoin, basically. And I would say third of it all is... let's see, guys. We had El Salvador. We have, the open interest, basically. So people getting too excited, people longing too much, and they basically needed a little bit of a shock to stay real with it all. Now, once more, I personally didn't expect Bitcoin to actually go and close below, XP to close below $1.06. It did. So my bets from earlier are off a little bit. However, as you can clearly see, just from looking at the picture, you can see the most important area for XRP is right now where we're at. Right, this area right here is the most critical area for XRP. We've hit that area so ridiculously many times for over the last entire month or so. This is going to be critical. Once more, two important things. One, trend line. Second, I guess the $1 mark, but that's a little bit below us. I don't think we're actually even going to get there. But most importantly, just getting out from this zone again, closing above there. And once more, I'm hoping that for Bitcoin, for XRP, and for all these, this is the lowest point that we have hit. And we're going to start building back up from here. Is it 100% certain? No. But most things point out, if we look at the real enthusiasm and all these other estimates we've used before, that there was so much fear, so much uncertainty, and so much negativity right now that we have almost no choice but to build back up. Because what exactly are the bearish factors? Why exactly should we go down? It's not logical. It really isn't. And if we look back at the longer term of this one, again, the altcoin season chart thing, it's only been a couple of times that we actually get a really big Bitcoin outperformance before hitting a real altcoin season. Right now, again, it will be the third time in a 2-year history where most of the times it just gets above there. I'm saying once more, guys, higher chance that we're going to just see the upside, going to continue on bullish. One fun thing that you guys recommended me to do is take a look at Algo. And so Algo was really at about 65 cents for the longest time. And to be honest with you, when looking at this chart, Algorand has one of the craziest price movements we have seen for any crypto. Look at that, guys. It hit the 65-cent level in February, then again in May, then again in June, then again in July, and right now we just skyrocketed. But when most cryptos actually were popping off, Algorand was just kind of goofing around a little bit. And we're looking at the real correlations and looking at every correlation here, or a couple of them, you can see Algorand really gives no crap about what Bitcoin does. Little fun fact, little side note. I just noticed that by looking it up a little bit. It's actually pretty damn crazy. really is kind of strange, right? A 0.37 correlation with Bitcoin over a short period of time here. Longer term, let's quickly see 1 year. 0.37, 0.32 on the XRP front, 0.24 on ADA, 0.58 on Tezos, and 0.37 on ETH. This crypto has a really, really bad correlation to all the others, which is very, very interesting. I guess the most important one should have been Ethereum, since again, Algorand, Ethereum. Maybe Solana, is that in this list too? We can actually see. Nah, Solana's gone on such a strange rise as well. ADA could have been, but all of them have such a bad correlation. For Algo being a platform in that sense too, it's really strange that they're not in any way, shape, or form more correlated. I find it peculiar, at least. So I try to check all the metrics for it, but Algorand basically doesn't fit any bill of Bitcoin, basically. It's really quite different to it. Now, again, the more you zoom out, the more you can kind of say like, oh, okay, it's kind of the same thing. But that's because most cryptos, they follow the same type of pattern. In a bull market, they're bullish. In a bear market, they're bearish. But it's about how much they're moving in what dates, and it's pretty crazy. All right, so generally speaking, guys, for Bitcoin, most important level here, I'm going to say is 44.6 thousand. Right now, we're about $1,000 above it. All right, so we're still pretty long ways away. But for right now, today, let's not get below 45.3. Again, tomorrow, you can kind of see where the line should kind of go, right? As long as you don't go below it, I'm staying bullish on it all the way through. Hopefully, we're going to actually close above 45.5 thousand. That would be even more bullish for Bitcoin because it then respects the newer uptrend that we've basically built. But a little bit of defiance is also possible, though, so it's going to depend a little bit. However, guys, as I said before, most things right now are looking bullish. Most factors and most things we're looking at. But let's see. I also saw this news from Algorand just now. Algorand Foundation launches a $300 million fund to accelerate DeFi innovation. That could be another bullish factor why people are just going so crazy about it. Because once more, guys, people are going crazy for Algorand right now. I'm seeing so many comments of people saying, Algorand, yeah, Algo, my bestie, Algo, da, da, da. When usually I used to see no comments whatsoever about Algorand ever. And it's kind of funny because you would think, oh, okay, then it's Ethereum basically that's deciding this, right? And Ethereum should be going down. Well, yes, but no. I mean, Ethereum has gone on a little bit of a pumpy dumpy here, but it's basically back to levels that it was a week prior, and is basically building from that point forward as well. Ethereum, from this entire Bitcoin debacle here, hasn't actually taken a really big dent in itself. It's actually coming along quite nicely here, to be honest with you. It's coming along quite nicely. Ethereum doesn't look like it actually had a dent. It just looks like this was a kind of a too fast of a move, kind of a pump and dump situation for a couple of days. But right now, back into just the normal motion of going and building up higher and higher and higher, which is kind of contradictory to most of the info that we see, because people keep saying, oh no, we're selling Ethereum for better coins like Solana, or now XLM that's also gone into the NFT space, or Algorand, or any of those other ones, Cardano. Yet, if you look at Ethereum, people are still wanting it. And that's actually kind of funny. You guys still hold Ethereum? I do. But why actually? If there's so many better technologies out there, why would we go for it? I guess it's just because we believe in the fact that Ethereum has a lot of developers on there right now. And so it's still good from that perspective. HBAR, we checked out already in the previous live stream, guys. HBAR is just performing like a beast too. You can't really deny that. It is performing like a beast. Absolute madness. Absolutely beautiful. It's crushing the game. And that's, again, comparing to almost any other crypto, a complete bullish rise. You can't say anything different about it. Ever since July 21st, it's just been building. And where most cryptos made another dent at even lower, yeah, Hedera hash graph here, it didn't. It's just pulling through it, just plowing through it all. That's really fun for me to just check out, guys. Yeah, really, really enjoyable. Now, once more, guys, almost in the crypto we're bullish on. Critical area for XRP, critical area for Bitcoin. We don't want to correct even lower than $44.5-ish thousand. A lot of you guys were saying RSI is ridiculously low. Doable, not that low. This is a 4-hour time frame. I don't really care too much about the RSI in this specific regard. But that's just talking about the price, right? On, again, my own Bybit chart here, some of you guys were saying, Dusty, did you just make a couple $1,000s profit and were you calling it out for your best trade? No. All right, let's quickly make sure that you understand. Nothing I'm saying in this video is financial advice. And even here, when I'm talking about my trades, it's just me, right? You don't have to replicate anything. You don't have to do anything that I'm saying because, again, not financial advice. But when I was talking about my big trade a couple of days ago, as I've said in the video like 5 times, but some people still misunderstood, it was not the trade I was showing you guys on video. I've explained to you guys very properly why that is so. But for right now, just understand that there's some things which you sometimes would rather keep behind closed doors. And so the trade that I have here, everything is public. Whenever I buy something or sell something, you guys will see. There's also some trading that I do behind closed doors, which you will not see. So that is also not in here then, if you are wondering about the situation. For right now, though, on the XRP forefront, you can still see we're ranging a little bit, right? We're definitely going sideways in that regard. But from the Bitcoin perspective, a breakout has to happen to either side really shortly here, guys. We're indecisive, but it has to happen shortly. On the XRP 1 hour, it looks like we're getting a breakout to the downside, right? However, I don't believe that that's going to be the big picture right now. I believe that's a little bit of a fake out like that. But once more, we are not sure. I am, however, more bullish than I've ever been, purely if we actually, be honest about it, because of a lot of the coincidences, like, for example, the Coinbase situation. Take a look at this. Guys, I remember January 5th, 2018. This was the day after XRP hit an all-time high. Coinbase announced it was not listing XRP the day after the all-time high. Now, again, another XRP pump was started and quickly stopped with Coinbase not relisting XRP. Whenever I think about this situation, guys, I'm like, yeah, it actually makes a little bit of sense. What were they doing? Is it manipulation? Is it just wishful thinking? Is it really a test? I don't know, but it's too coincidental. And sometimes, even today, I was kind of thinking, what if Coinbase was just testing their influence on the XRP price? What if? What if? What if? And so I saw this, right? I saw this over on one of my comments here. A Deft investment said, I think Coinbase turned their $250 million of dumped stock into XRP holdings. A lot of you guys don't even know what this is about, huh? I think so. Coinbase, and I covered this on my 5-minute crypto channel, but didn't share it. Coinbase insiders, a couple of days ago, dumped $250 million worth of stock in 1 month as share prices recovers. And people were basically calling this out for insider trading. I saw it left, right. Let me see if I have another article, because I had 2 articles open about Coinbase here. Let me see. It was this one, which is basically, the same title here. And another one was SEC threatens to sue Coinbase over lending product. I just basically wanted to bundle it together for my 5-minute crypto channel. Point being, though, very, very peculiar. Let's check it out. Coinbase executives sold nearly $250 million in the company's stock in the past month alone. As the crypto exchange's share price attempts to recover from the 50% collapse, that makes over $5.44 billion cashed in at the hands of Coinbase insiders over the company's first 145 days of the NASDAQ. Silicon Valley icon Mark Andreessen, one titular half of the venture capital giant Andreessen Horowitz, has sold over $188 million worth of Coinbase shares in the past month, more than any insider. Andreessen is both 10% owner at Coinbase and company director. Coinbase stock is up about 8% since this time in August. And the rest of the month, sales were generated by Coinbase General Counsel Paul Grewal with $24 million, co-founder Fred Esherim, $19 million, director Catherine Hone, $5.6 million, and product lead Surojit Chatterjee at $5.4 million, and chief accountant Jennifer Jones at $1.8 million. Direct listing differs from initial public offering in that companies don't raise funds by selling newly created shares to investors. Instead, direct listing enables company executives and other shareholders to offload their existing shares. Again, the difference is basically, if you're going for an IPO, you will basically allow people to buy stock that has never been seen before. It's just newer stocks, right? You're just increasing the amount of stocks that are out there. With an direct listing, the amount of stocks that there are, a piece of that is going to be sold to other people. So basically it's kind of it's actually not an official naming for it, but it's basically you have 2 different ways to go public. And people often call the IPO the real way and direct listing the kind of sissy way, because if you're not creating new stock, you don't really know what the price should have been. People are just kind of messing around a little bit more with the direct listing. Direct listing can also be considered a liquidity event for insiders to cash in their stock, because once more, those guys know what the company's looking like. And this type of scenarios, those guys are the only ones who are sharing their stock, selling their stock. So you know that they're all bearish on it. Otherwise, why would you do it? If you think that the price is going to, or your company's going to do better, why would you go for direct listing? Well, because you want money, right? But why would you want money if your company's only going to do better? Because you think it's going to go do worse and you'd rather sell some stock. That is also why at the time when Coinbase launched the listing, the CFO, I believe, sold all of their shares, which was peculiar. Then again, that does not mean that Coinbase is a bad stock to hold. I don't actually believe so. I think it's actually kind of a juicy one from a certain perspective. All right, then again, we had the fear and greed index, guys, and I'm showing you already, and I'm keeping with that little basis that I personally think that there's too much fear in the numbers if you compare it to what the people are looking like, basically, looking at the actual market. people right now are generally speaking quite bullish. If you were to run a poll right now, we could do that in the chat box. You notice most people are talking in the bullish sense. And Patrick here says CoinKit had shown correlation between moon phases and price action. Patrick says the moon does have an effect on people. Really? XP Legend says it's a chart thing, nothing to actually do with the moon. You're telling me that the prices of crypto are correlated to where the moon is. And by the way, guys, when do we have another sunshine meeting? Because a lot of you guys were spamming me. Let's say Sunshine SEC meeting. A lot of you guys were saying, Dusty, the Sunshine meeting is going to come up. What exactly does it mean? What's going to happen? I don't know exactly when the next date is going to be for one of those meetings, to be honest with you. Because even if Gary Gensler has to go talk about it, about stuff, yeah, is that good? Is that bad? It's neutral, I guess. Moon phases affect fish. Check the moon phases indicator in TradingView. Maybe eventually, not today though. I will look it up for you, my friend. Very fair point, Nico. Without the moon, we wouldn't be there. Nice observation. Anyone got slaughtered under $100? I think a lot of people did. Yes, I heard the moon thing for trading. All right, I'll take a look at it, guys. What do you think about Hex? I don't like it. I dislike it, actually, I should say. I think, okay, so Fullerine says, I think they mean human behavior is affected by a lunar cycle, which could affect the market action. I mean, once more, fair point. If you guys want me to look it up, we can definitely do that. And Esper says, I'm so glad you didn't get permabanned by YouTube. Well, we did, but we did come back from it, I guess. So we did get banned at first. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. Wow, by the way, coming back up, huh? Let's actually see on the other front here. So XRP right now is, again, literally building from the, Bitcoin is literally building on the trend line. Unfortunately, didn't respect the newer trend line. So basically the bullish one. However, we are still respecting a little bit of a longer term, even though it's still not long. It's like about 9 September, so a couple of days. Downward sloping trend line. But that's, again, a kind of a bullish thing because we broke out and we're now building on top of it. So as long as we don't go cross below, once more things are still looking good. However, all I came in to say is right now there's some room for a lot of volatility as we're in between a couple of really important points. As you can obviously guess, $45,000 is a really important, critical piece for Bitcoin. Critical, right? We're going to hover around that one. But right now we're also between a very important resistance zone here. So right in the middle, we have to go move pretty shortly here. People are generally speaking, as I said before, kind of bullish on crypto, but the price and everything like that is showing bearishness. I don't believe it. I believe right now they want you to sell, they want you to be critical, but things, I don't know, guys. It's kind of a gut feeling as well, I think. I think a lot of you guys are having that same type of idea here. They want you to sell, they want you to get rid of your coins, but right now I don't think is the best time. Then again, we definitely may be wrong, but I'm not getting rid of my coins right now. I'm just not. I'm going to keep them up, hold on to them. And I believe that altcoins will reign supreme in the near future here, guys. I still believe so that altcoins will be outperforming Bitcoin. What is there to be bearish right now? Exactly what? Let's think about it. Which parts are making everything bearish right now? And does it really matter? Harry Styles here says, don't predict, price will go crazy once the settlement is done. You know, guys, to be honest with you, that was actually going to be the middle part of this entire video. Because regardless of what the price does now, let's do 2 steps back and ask ourselves, does it matter? Yes and no. The reason the price matters is because people want to buy in as cheap as possible. Logic. However, think about it from this perspective. If you bought XRP every single day for the last year and a half, or a year, or 6 months, or anything like that, you'd be in a ton of profit. If you bought it only at 3 miscellaneous spots, you might actually be at a loss because you could have bought at dumb spots. Point being, consistency is key, or trying to time the markets with relatively small purchase, like if you, for example, split it up into 3 things, not a lot of parts, can actually be way worse for you than just buying every day or every week, for example, or just kind of consistently. Very often people make this assumption that, oh no, you need to buy the lowest possible point. Well, not really. if your strategy is on point, which could be either of these two in my opinion, either your strategy is DCA, so you buy, for example, once it's at $1.50, again at $1.25, again at $1.75, and you don't buy at any other point, that's a possibility. Or again, it's 86 cents, but then relatively, again, following your DCA strategy if you make it worth it. Or you go by just buy often enough where your average price is juicy, or by the last one, which is not for everybody, it's only for the lucky few. If your average price is this low, you just think about future returns, basically. So right now that XP is at $1.08. We think about it from this perspective. What is the future return looking like for us? Like right now as we speak, we got a lawsuit, settlement, or conclusion from the judge coming up within 6 months. I think every one of us here thinks 6 months, it's not going to take longer than that, right? If it does, guys, I'll be kind of disappointed, to be honest with you. Not sad, but disappointed in the lawsuit, because to me, it is so clear that Ripple should win. It would be rather strange, I think, if it takes more than 6 months. And you guys keep saying, Dusty, please answer the questions. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll get to the questions a little bit later, maybe. So from that perspective, I'm going to say once more, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Either of those three works. If people think, no, I should wait for the big dividend. What's your strategy? If you don't have a strategy, just buying miscellaneously, that ain't it, Chief. That ain't it. At least that's not my own personal opinion. Because right now, let's go 2 steps back. Let's say the worst scenario were to happen, Bitcoin doesn't respect, and we actually do move lower, which a couple of people have said on Twitter right now that that's going to happen, that we're going to be moving lower. We're going to be moving to about 95 cents per XRP before building back up. Again, at this critical area right there. Let me put it in for you guys as well. A lot of people have said that on Twitter. I see sometimes stuff. So right now to this area here, about 95 cents per XRP. On the Bitcoin 404, we're going to break through $45,000, or at least I should say close below $45,000, because there's a big difference between hitting there and actually closing above there just now. Closing below there and building from there to the downside. And basically don't respect any of these previous lows that we've seen. We're just going to kind of change the momentum back up. I don't. What then? Are you going to panic? What are you going to do? No, we don't panic, guys. What we do. Oh, you said Dusty. Oh, what nice name. He says, I'm watching charts right now and it just broke resistance. You mean support? Or what? Because, I mean, we're going down a little bit, so I'm not sure exactly what resistance we could have broken. You mean this little nitty-witty point right there? Because, there's a very big difference to make, by the way. People sometimes say, oh, yeah, we finally did it. These types of parts here, guys, these are not valid, basically, to do any trading with, at least in my own personal opinion. Hitting a level is nice, but breaching it, basically, almost in any scenario requires a close. So, for example, if the body were to end above that area, bullish, right? In this specific case, we're retesting, okay, but it's not something I would really use to trade too much with, which I've shown you guys before. I'm a man who really likes sounds kind of strange, but I like confirmation in my trading, where we basically, for example, if we're going to see a breakout towards the upside here, what we'll see is that we'll see let's say a candle like this first, and then another candle a little bit afterwards that basically looks like this. So we get, for example, 2 green candles to kind of, again, support a breakout of this downward little slope that we've had. And that's when I would then go in. Mostly when it's about halfway through the next candle, I would go in and then start going long, for example. A lot of people think, oh, no, okay, this has happened so bullish. We've broken out. We're going crazy. I don't personally think so. Again, everybody has their own style. With my trading, we don't really trade as often as a lot of other people do. We focus more on being right, so to speak. That is different, though, from the HODL stash, which, once more, guys, I really firmly believe people are taking too much time into thinking when exactly they should buy, instead of just buying and buying more, so to speak. The only problem, I guess, there is liquidity, huh? So if, for example, have $100 invested in crypto, and you have $40 left, when should you use it? My own personal thought would be, okay, why not just buy $1 every single day and see what happens? Because even now, if I look back at my family, right, they want to invest everything at once. And I understand, because then you've invested and you're done with it. And that's fine if you're going to only look back in about a year from now or 2 years from now. Or if you're in an extremely bullish market with no doubt, like, for example, a couple of days ago. But even that, because in this area here, from about August end, so 31st, up till about a couple of days ago, we were in a bullish market and everybody was like going nutty. The correlation, the fear and greed index was going crazy. You can see here was 72, was just really, really high. People were really happy. You can see that even then, if you were buying in the amidst of the bullish market, which is going crazy. You would have actually been better off by just waiting a little bit. And again, you could have bought your XRP, for example, back at the prices which you saw a couple of days prior. And people sometimes get distracted with the bullishness, basically. But let's quickly see what you guys are saying. So, Fuzz says, my question to you is, what is your favorite food? And of course, where do you see XP going to when it rockets up? And would it bear trend after it launches, or would it keep going up? That's actually a couple of questions in one, of course. But my favorite food, I really wouldn't know. I'm also not sure if I would tell you, even if I did know. But I don't know what my favorite food would be. It changes as well. I really changed my favorite stuff quite often. It's really hard to say. And of course, what do you see XP going to when it rockets up? This is a question I get so often, and the answer is actually impossible to give. What do you mean with rocket up, guys? Do you mean what do I see the XP price going to once we reach a settlement, or once the that XP price just starts moving? Well, but that depends on what causes the price to move. For example, right now we can break out to the downside, can retest again $1.03, go back to $1, breach towards the downside. Really negative, not nice, whatever. So once it goes up then to about $2, that's shooting up, for example? Or do you mean shooting up once we cross all-time high? Or exactly what part of it is good enough, basically? I find that difficult to know exactly, right? Because if you're talking about a lawsuit, then I would say where I think it can go to is $7 is kind of a low target of mine, and I would say like a $12 is kind of a high target of mine. Because I've told you guys before, if it happens so quickly, like for example in a couple of days, I might sell some XRP at $12 because that's crazy. Otherwise, yeah, that's low target. The other Dusty says in the chat box, I'm talking Bitcoin breaking a wedge pattern and moving towards the downside. Lower support just broke, came back up and retested it, and now it's dipping. So that is a man. Why do you make it like? I can't say your name now, though, my friend. That is very sad. Why do you do it? Oh yeah, this is what you mean? That we just broke out on the Bitcoin forefront as well. So Bitcoin actually straight at the bat here, coming in negative, break out towards the downside a little bit. At least the volatility that I was talking about here, and that I actually wanted to make a video about like an hour or two ago, is still persuading. It's still moving through. Let us see if we can respect $45,000, specifically closing above $45,000. Most important area, 44, and basically everything that we closed at around here at about 44.5 or so. Because once more, it's about building higher highs and higher lows. Right now, the most, let's actually look from a daily perspective. I don't have a daily Bitcoin open. From a daily perspective, let's see. We were basically building higher and higher and higher on Bitcoin for the longest time. You can see higher, 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 until it was breached when things just went exponential on the 1st of September. It was kind of, it went astray a little bit because we were building the same moves, but really a lot quicker without any dips, basically. This is the first dip, but this is basically like we saw a couple of months ago, right? Like we basically saw that right here in the grander scheme of things, where again, you're building new higher highs every single time. Let's actually get rid of this. You're building new higher highs, 1, 2, 3. You basically see it here too, like maybe a 1, 2, 3. And at that point, you're basically starting to build and build lower highs from this point forward. That could be bad. I don't personally think so, though, but it's going to depend on where Bitcoin stays in, obviously. Right now, you can still draw a bullish line, even from as far back as the 20th of July. So, as long, again, it's about holding critical parts. How else can I say it, guys? You guys saying sideways? It is going side. No. No, I would say it's more so downside than sideways right now. Right? Yeah. I guess a head and shoulders pattern might come out of this one pretty shortly here. That could also be the case. There's a couple of things which really could form from here. We can also see an inverse cup and handle. We can see a lot of different things pretty shortly here. Guys, it's going to get really interesting. Dusty, I like it when you say. It says, appreciate all your work, brother. We're all crypto fam. That's also one thing that everybody should understand, guys. We're all one big family. It is. Appreciate all your work, brother. We all crypto fam. Have a good day. I'm short on Bitcoin. We will see how it goes. Ooh, short on Bitcoin right now. That is really interesting. I personally wouldn't go for it, but that's me. Why short on Bitcoin now? So at this area, you're going. You're basically thinking we're going to breach through it all and literally break out towards the downside. Continue on from here. Really? I don't know what pattern we put in there actually anymore, but it did break through, by the way. So our let me actually show you guys. I'm going to do 2 steps back to actually get the indicator back in. Let's see actually this. If we zoom in a little bit from a couple of days ago, I think we were actually correct on that one as well. Look at this. So the I don't know exactly what we drew in here just now. I think it's just the triangle itself. There's too much stuff from different times that I've drawn in here. But we basically said that the upside potential of the move here, yeah, it's just from the symmetrical triangle, I believe, can be the same again, which was basically about 5.8% or so. Let's see here how much we actually were doing. 6.2%, about 6.2%. It's pretty funny how that did work out if we did actually buy it. Which again is all based upon a critical low being held. Right now it's the same thing. Lows should be held. Short term, long term, medium term, every single term. Let's actually see what you guys are expecting. Guys, do you expect Bitcoin to go down from here or up? Let's see just what you guys are expecting. And Bitcoin, we can also do XRP. BTC up or down today? We're going down. Let's see what you guys are expecting. It's whenever I say Bitcoin, it's basically just crypto market. Fullerene says expect to keep ranging. So you think we're going down? Sideways, I mean? We're due, guys. It's a breakout towards the downside, however you want to see it. People also, this is so funny how people are skewed with their perceptions of what a breakout should look like. This is a breakout from the pattern. It is. That's the definition of it. It broke out of a certain specific range, motion, whatever you want to pattern, whatever you want to put in. People obviously, oh, clip it. Breakout is a breakout right now on the Bitcoin front, XRP front, whatever you want to see. It broke out of the pattern. So people keep calling clickbait, and that's why I say sometimes it annoys me. Because we might be wrong on what exactly is going to happen in the future. That's always right. But clickbait, don't say it if you don't even know what you're saying. Dusty says, it made a lower low last night, actually printed candle. Oh, you're actually kind of right about that one, though. To be honest with you, on the 1 hour frame for Bitcoin, you can actually see that yesterday was again another bearish. Still, Dusty, what you might be missing here? That again, if we look at the broader perspective here, what we saw yesterday could, yeah. Breakdown would be the term in your title. What? I never said bullish breakout. The price literally says, price, what's going on with XRP, Algo, ADA, Bitcoin, corruption. And the thumbnail has, what's going on? Price breakout, question mark? What? Some people are very interesting. Okay, so the majority of the expectations actually are sideways. Because I'm seeing you guys in the chat box here. You guys are all thinking we're going sideways. We're ranging for a little bit. Very peculiar. Can you highlight over VeChain and share your opinion for price prediction by the end of the run? VeChain, price prediction, once more, no clue. I expect VeChain to be one of those coins which is going to be at least a 20 timer still. Once more, guys, I have a ton of VeChain. Just going to be honest with you guys. It's one of my first coins that I've bought for the longer term, basically. Where a lot of these coins like Bitcoin Ether, I just bought because, well, it's Bitcoin Ether, right? VeChain is one of the coins which I bought with the idea, I'm going to hold this one for freaking a long time. And that was when it was about half a cent. Right now we're at 11. I personally think dollars per VeChain, like $10 or so, isn't really crazy. Not even. You know, $10 is not that crazy for VeChain. And right now we are at 10 cents. But again, the end of this run is a little bit more difficult. And H-bar, we've already covered like 5 times today. H-bar is in a really, really bullish position right now. You can't really say too much negative about it. That actually brings me to the point. What happened to the total altcoin market cap? Let's actually see the total altcoin market cap. We were screaming about this a little while ago, and very peculiarly, the altcoin market cap hasn't come back to the areas which we were covering. You guys remember it? We were basically covering the altcoin market cap because it was basically making the highest, potentially the highest point ever. Right now, it closed on the second and, again, kind of second and third highest point ever. Now, you might also say that this and the options market and everything like that are connected because, once more, we hit the highest point ever for the second time. Literally, you can see here, this number is the second highest point ever, and that's exactly the day which everything fell down. So really, the idea that people got over-enthusiastic and we needed a good correction is very fair. Then again, if we look at the altcoin perspective, saying that we're still in a bullish type of wave is all you can say. You can't tell me that this is looking bearish right now. You can clearly see we're just building and we're literally still, to some degree, kind of exponential. So whatever people are saying about this, that, I personally don't think we're in a bearish run right now. I think we're still bullish. We might see a little bit of a bearish downside for a little bit, but bullishness is the way that things are going right now. That's just completely me. 10,000x. Anyone seen one? I don't know about that, my friend. H-bar up 20%. Yeah, H-bar is doing really amazingly. You can't say anything negative about H-bar right now. It's just performing like a freaking beast. 40 cents per H-bar, huh? Look at that, just parading through again, getting back to those high levels, huh? Look at that, guys. It's just parading through. H-bar leaves nothing for the imagination. Crazy, guys. Crazy. Yes, like Esper says in the chat box, a bearish trend, potentially right now, because we had a little bit of a bearish breakdown just now for Bitcoin. It's continuing on in a very significant bull run. Jamin says, or Jamin, Dusty, we have to make a higher low than 4444 Bitcoin from previous low. That will make a higher low and then the last low, which is around 44.207. Let's check Bitcoin out once more. Let's see what he's saying. So on the Bitcoin forefront, he's saying we have to make a higher low from about 44.4 thousand. So let's see here. Which of the times did it hit 4444? So right here, we had a okay, I think this is $400 higher than the one you mean. You're meaning one of these closes right here? Yeah, this is the one he meant. So we had a critical close here, 44444 basically, most likely with a little bit of defiance, but let's say that that's the point. This is about 4446. He's saying we need to have a higher low than the point that we hit right there. So how that works psychologically is basically the moment you start to take out some of the previous higher lows is when you get more bearish. So basically our most critical and closest levels to us here were important, but not that much so, in the sense that these are, it basically went so quick that these aren't set in stone just quite yet. However, you might still say, okay, we broke down below them, so that's the first bearish factor, because again, we had kind of a tic-tac-toe. We had a first hit, second hit, third hit, and then the third hit here, it broke through. Bearish. Okay, facts. So the next important area to watch is, again, the closes that we saw here, like kind of both of these because they're so similar to each other. Right now, we're hovering at that area. And once more, if we don't close below this area at about 444, let's say about 4444, we're still good. And I don't think we'll actually close below that because I personally think we're just going to kind of start looking like this again from here on forward. That's my own personal expectation because that's what logic would sound like. Specifically, if you start looking at the altcoin market too, things are just in a bullish momentum. From a total altcoin cap, or total cap anyway, everything is just looking good. It's just very interesting the price went down. And I personally think that that's either a manipulated type of move, like some people have called it before, or that it was just due for a little bit of a correction to let people get shocked a little bit. But no, I don't believe we are in a bearish market right now. I just do not believe so. Harmony One, we also talked about earlier. That coin is also going crazy right now. Harmony One is really a beast. How many VeChain do you plan holding? I am still buying and accumulating more VeChain. Literally here, guys, this list on the right here is all coins that I do hold, if you're wondering about it. However, my entire portfolio is over on Patreon. It hasn't actually changed in a couple of months right now. I'm just buying, but just the same coins, basically. Whenever I do buy a new coin, I'll share it, but there's nothing new that I'm buying. It's just the same old good stuff. Why? Well, because right now we're in a good position. We are still lower on most altcoins that we were a long time ago. We're still in a really bullish position in a really bull market, and I feel as if that's a smart idea for me. Everybody got their own opinion, but I feel as if it's a smart idea for me to just keep on buying through. By the way, guys, let me also remind you, you can also join the new Telegram channels that we have. There's two of them. There's the DustDBC alerts, and there's this one. There's basically a, let's see, I'm going to show you guys. There's a DustyBC alerts, which you guys should check out. It is basically one of my previous groups, which are just turned into a channel for notifications. Because a lot of you guys are saying you did get a notification for things. So let me just quickly put that out there. So you guys can get notifications every single time on Telegram. And the second one is basically just a group on Telegram. For if you guys find it funny, you can just start chatting over in Telegram. Once more, you don't have to join, but maybe this is something for you. The alerts, you guys know how it works. And the Telegram, you guys know how it works too. All right, the group. So I'll leave links for both down there so you guys can check them out if you want to. Let me show it to you like that. Do you usually respond to Instagram messages? I will reply to every single Instagram message ever sent. However, it might take a little bit of time because first of all, there's quite a lot of things. And most specifically, people have long stories. So people just have a long freaking story saying, hey, what can you help me out? Blah, blah, blah. And I often say, no, I can't help you. I can't give you advice or anything like that. But if you have a normal question, I can reply, of course. And that I will do. But then I have to read through the entire story first. And you might think, oh, you only have 1,000 followers, so there can't be that many stories. You would be surprised how many people don't follow me, but send me their entire freaking live story with questions. So it does take a little bit of time. Because, of course, I also have other things to do in a day. And there's also a ton of freaking, because I made the Telegram stuff right now, there's a ton of questions on Telegram. There's a lot of questions on everywhere nowadays. I find it honoring, because people ask me stuff, that again, it does take a lot of time. That's why sometimes you have to wait a little bit. So that's about that. All right, guys, but I don't want to keep your time too much. I just want to quickly talk about the price. Understand that there's no conclusions here just too much because, again, I'm not that type of guy. All I want to do is quickly get some thoughts out here and let you guys know what I was thinking. We may or may not be correct. I'm not saying we are. What I am saying, though, is that it's a very interesting market. Right now, I wanted to call out some volatility, but we're already seeing it here, guys. Because once more, I wanted to start this video at about, let's say, about 6 or so my own time. Because that's when I was actually kind of making my food. And then I started eating at about 9 because I'm sometimes very slow with things. We got some volatility that we were kind of wanting for or looking for. Right now, we've already, within the midst here of my own looking up, we've already moved about 2.5% or so. But it's not the volatility that is critical just quite yet. There's a lot more to come. It's going to be here rather shortly, guys. Be prepared for it. It's going to be a really, really important area for Bitcoin and for anything in that matter. Let us watch. Let us see. None of us are fortune tellers or anything like that, but we do like to make a lot of money. And Bitcoin right now is not looking too good. It isn't. The guy, the Dusty just now who was shorting, has actually made a little bit of money. It's going to be very interesting. Let's see. Emil says, I thought that we by now would have recovered from the crash. That's what logic would say. But for some reason, the price is still down. But who knows why? Because it doesn't make any freaking sense. Yeah, and by the way, guys, once more, this is not my style. I in no way, shape, or form am trying to tell you guys that I'm good at technical analysis or that this is my thing or that you should listen to me. I'm just doing what I found fun. As I've told you guys before, this is just all talking, joking around, being funny. You should not use this in any way, shape, or form as financial advice or technical analysis advice, whatever you want to call that. It's just me and you guys chatting a little bit, seeing what's going on with the price and whatever we find logical. We're trying to come to conclusions together. And what sounds logical? To me, sounds like freaking BS all over. That's my conclusion of it all. And you guys are asking me about most of these cryptos like Crow or Reef. Crow and Reef, I both do not hodl. XDC, I do hold, yes. Hex is a scam. I personally think it's really, really bad of a coin. I personally would never touch it with a 50-foot pole. AMP, I don't hold it either. Let's see what you guys are saying. Otherwise, how many VEETs are you holding? I will not say. I don't recommend any of you guys to say how much crypto you're holding. $50 vet. $50 vet is very high. I personally think that's really. It's not in the close time frame. Same thing for this specific bull run. I don't think that $10 per VEET is that feasible. Longer term, I do think $10 per VEET is quite possible. XRP, as I've said before, any price is really possible. Even $100 is not even that hard. People sometimes question that, but I always keep reassuring them. $100 per XP is not that hard. Hex is making people money, scam or not. Do your own research. Fair. If you're making money with that, you do that, my friend. Please, by all means. I'm just saying it's not for me. Guns for God says they will wait for the dab to get into people and then it will make a move. That reminds me of those videos where it's like, he bought, dump it. He sold, pump it again. Those videos, because that's funny how that's the situation. If one of you guys now decides to go crazy on the buying or the selling, oh, don't worry, it's gonna do exactly the opposite of what you thought was gonna happen. For right now, though, breaking towards the downside, Not too negative just quite yet. Let's see where we close, guys. Next couple of days are going to be extremely, extremely important. We're waiting for a breakout. We're waiting for some really heavy volatility. But once more, it's about making higher lows. And as it stands, we're still on the good side, though. But it can switch over rather quickly. Let us see, let us wait. And once more, not my expertise, but I did find it fun to sometimes look at this and think about it. Oh, so you mentioned that you hold everything on the right. Since Chainlink is not there, I assume you don't have it in your portfolio. First of all, you guys are taking the wrong Dusty. And second of all, Chainlink is in that list, my friend. If you had a keen eye, you would notice that Chainlink is right here. But I do hold more than this, by the way. It's not that these are all my cryptos. These are just a couple that we watch on the channel very often. Sometimes I just add more, like Q&T, for example, I hold too. But it's on the list because I don't know why. So I just look them up manually. I do hold Q&T as well, yes. It should not be hard from an advanced technology. You mean for XRP to hit $100? Fair. Yeah, Quant Crusader says $1,000. Oh, that's for Quant, huh? But next month. All right. Chili's, a little bit. I have a little bit of Chili's. Maybe not even anymore. I do think so, though. Because, of course, Netherlands, Chili's. Hi, welcome to Chili's. Do you guys know that meme? All right. All right, guys. That was it for today, though. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. It's been an hour or so. Damn, that's crazy. Once more, sorry for wasting all your time if you didn't enjoy it. Hope we get to drive our Lambos around together. I really hope so, my friends. Everybody here, thank you all so much for stopping by and saying hi, just for fun. Once more. I hope nobody's going to get too angry at me for talking this long, but it's all good. All right. Thank you guys all for stopping by, saying hi, and I'll see you guys again a little bit later. Make sure you join those Telegrams right now, and I'll see you guys again.